Thank you for your warm introduction. Mr. Ben Morton Wright, President and Group CEO of Global Philanthropic, distinguished guests, ladies and gentlemen. Good afternoon and good morning, wherever in the world you may be watching from. It is my great honor to open Global Philanthropic's fourth Talking Philanthropy Forum, which I believe is the first such forum of its kind to take place in Asia. And it is my privilege to deliver these opening remarks at such an important juncture for both humanity and our planet. On behalf of all those involved, I would like to take this opportunity to thank this forum's academic partners, the Lee Kuan Yew School of Public Policy, who have so kindly hosted this virtual event, as well as the Cambridge Judge Business School Center for Strategic Philanthropy. Distinguished guests, ladies and gentlemen, 6 years ago, the United Nations presented the 17 Sustainable Development Goals, SDGs, to the world, as they were historically adopted by 193 countries in New York. This was one of my biggest achievements as UN Secretary General, as the SDGs offer us with a collaborative blueprint to ensure the future we want. The SDGs provide us a way forward to confront the most critical issues of our time. These include poverty, education, inequality, climate change, public health, and gender equality, among others. Since 2015, there has been a remarkable effort to meet these goals. Indeed, collectively, we have achieved and continue to achieve great progress. But the world has since experienced a seismic shock with the outbreak of the coronavirus pandemic. This has brought disruption and devastating effects for so many, in particular to the lives of the most vulnerable and widened existing inequalities. The numbers tell a distressing story. During 2020, an estimated 71 million people were pushed into extreme poverty. 90% of all students worldwide were kept out of schools, with at least 500 million students unable to access remote learning. Childhood immunization programs were interrupted in up to 70 countries. And the estimated 6% drop in greenhouse gas emissions in 2020 still falls short of the 7.6% reduction required to limit global warming to 1.5 degrees Celsius, in line with the Paris Agreement on climate change. Under this troubling backdrop, governments, philanthropists, and non-profit organizations around the world have had to step up and respond in ways and on a scale like never before to support their communities. At the same time, the pandemic has reminded us all of how interconnected the world is. It has taught us crucial lessons on the importance of solidarity and cooperation. Strikingly, it has shown us the role and impact that philanthropy must play in helping us to bridge the gap in our efforts to achieve the Sustainable Development Goals. In this connection, there is one particular SDG that speaks urgently to us in these challenging times. It is SDG 17, Partnerships for the Goals. SDG 17 clearly highlights the prominent role that the philanthropy community, alongside the United Nations, governments, the private sector, civil society, and others, should play to help achieve the SDGs. It calls for, quote, multi-stakeholder partnerships that mobilize and share knowledge, expertise, technology, and financial resources to support the achievement of the Sustainable Development Goals in all countries, unquote. Key stakeholders like yourselves are essential partners in our quest to achieve the SDGs. The importance of collaboration and successful partnership is now more vital than ever. To achieve the SDGs by 2030, we need an all-hands-on-deck approach, where everyone joins together in partnership to harness the ownership participation and active involvement from all sectors of all societies. Distinguished guests, ladies and gentlemen, today's Talking Philanthropy Forum is a wonderful example of thought leadership and the power of partnership across countries and cultures and communities. You will explore the role that government plays in fostering a flourishing philanthropic ecosystem and discover the current and most important research on philanthropy in Asia and the Global South. You will also hear stories of the transformative impact of philanthropy and how we can adopt the lessons of the pandemic to bring about real and necessary changes. And you will benefit from the insight of philanthropists, practitioners, and academics from across Asia and the world on health, education, and, crucially, the environment. This last point is particularly timely as world leaders prepare to gather in Glasgow, United Kingdom, later this year for COP26, that is, the UN Conference on Climate Change. I'm of the view that today is a profound and defining moment for the direction of philanthropy in Asia, setting a precedent for collaboration within the sector and those who desire to do good for their communities, each other, and the earth. In this regard, I invite you to open your mind and explore new ideas, challenge your thinking, break down silos, begin the conversation of how we can advance and increase philanthropy in the Asia-Pacific region. Question what interventions are needed from governments to foster philanthropy. Ask where knowledge is missing and what extra research is needed. Distinguished guests, ladies and gentlemen, please allow me to close on a personal note. Growing up in Korea, as the embers of the Korean War burned in the 1950s, I dreamt of a better future. The United Nations was established only 5 years earlier, and its distinctive blue flag and emblem was a beacon of hope during my difficult childhood. I could never have imagined then that I would go on to become the Secretary General of the United Nations, where I witnessed many extraordinary philanthropy initiatives. I saw firsthand the remarkable work of the United Nations foundations established in 1998 with $1 billion gift from Ted Turner and the pioneering commitment to global health and the environment of the Bill and Melinda Gates Foundation. I'm simply delighted that both of these incredible foundations are represented here today. More recently, I have been able to establish my own non-profit organizations to champion the needs of women and young people and help chart a better future. These include the Ban Ki-moon Foundation for a Better Future in Seoul, Korea, and the Ban Ki-moon Center for Global Citizens in Vienna, Austria. So my message to all of you taking part in this forum today is that the future of philanthropy lies in your hands. I urge you to reach out and connect with each other across borders and seas. No individual can change the world, but together we can. We are all global citizens, and we must work together for a brighter future through cooperation and partnership. I thank you for your attention and congratulate you once again on the realization of this exciting forum. Thank you.